I'm not making
any statement against the government.
I'm just saying, I'm answering Vikram when he said that what are you amused at? I'm not amused, I'm just amazed. I'm amazed, and it's all right to smile.
That's the perception. The perception that Purab is saying is the perception that you've been able to really cash in on. Or capitalize on.
It's not just a perception, it's real life, is what people go through day after day. There has been a deluge and an outpouring of emotion that you see, frustration and anger, and also some hope that Anna provides. And that's what we see. And Anna is an idea, whose time has come. Because there has been rampant corruption at all levels. Big ticket corruption at all levels, which is why there is need for something like that. There is a huge space which was lying vacant.
And also I would like to ask
you to fill it with just anything.
Yeah.
And that's it. Now, because
No,
there is corruption, we need to deal with corruption. Not because you get a draft bill of Lokpal and just use Lokpal to fill the void. Now, without understanding, as
one thing I would like to add to this, this is also what this whole exercise is.
One at a time. Purab, you were saying something.
Yes.
Then I'm going to come to Paul.
Okay, you want to introduce Paul first?
I was trying to introduce
do that.
Paul, why don't I introduce you? But how does the rest of the world, you of course are bureau chief for India and Nepal at Reuters. How is the rest of the world seeing this? Is it an exercise in Indian democracy and Gandhian methods being used as opposed to people rioting in UK? Is that the way this is being seen? India standing up against corruption?
Yeah, I think people see it as that, particularly that there's quite a disconnect between the establishment and the population. I mean, clearly, this is something not driven, like in the Arab Spring, actually. I mean, that was a very different set of conditions, but driven by the people. This is not something driven by political parties. People have come out on the streets because they're unhappy about what is going on. And to get the middle class and others to actually want to take part without being driven by parties or other things is very unusual, right? So I think that's the big thing that you see going on here.
Driven by the people. Now, we're being joined by somebody who actually doesn't completely agree this is being driven by the people. Kancha Alaya, Professor Kancha Alaya joining us. Your view, Professor Kancha Alaya, is that this is essentially an elite middle-class movement. It's not actually being driven by the people. That seems to be what you believe.
Who have a full stomach out there.
Yes, Vikram, I have fears that this Anna Hazare team and its Lokpal proposition neither looks at caste nor looks at class, seems to be constructing a Manuwadi Lokpal. Where do the Dalit Bahujans figure into this? This team does not consist of single Dalit, single OBC, and minorities are not seen in the entire crowd that you see in Ramlila ground. And tomorrow, once this Lokpal is constructed, I am worried. Out of 11 members that they are suggesting, they have no idea what they should do with an SA member, an ST member within the Lokpal, and then what happens to the whole thing.
Okay, let me just throw some of that.
My concern is the media.
Right, let me just throw some of
the media is now projecting this as it projected anti-reservation agitation. 10 people they are showing as 100 they are showing as 1,000. The whole India is back into the villages and in the cities. What is this happening, a drama?
Okay, thanks, Professor Alaya. I'll come back to you in just a couple of minutes or more on that. But finally, our final guest this evening, Rajiv Chandrasekhar, who has, of course, introduced the Jan Lokpal bill as a private member's bill. Now, Rajiv, you heard what Professor Kancha Alaya said. He said this is actually not really a representative movement. Also, when you introduced the Jan Lokpal bill, do you agree with every provision in it? You've introduced it essentially as your own bill now.
Yeah, and Vikram, I think, first of all, we must, I heard some of the conversation there in the studio, and unfortunately I can't be there, but we must understand what we are attempting to do here. This is not an academic, intellectual, debating exercise that people are trying to achieve. There is a clear and present danger of this, perfect storm of corruption. We've seen this in real life. 2G scam, CWG scam, other scam. The brazenness of it, the size of it, completely undermining the democracy and republic that we live in. There is a strong argument that we need to have a response to this. Now, debating societies all over the country can come up with different versions of what they believe is a solution. But a law that is a deterrent is a centerpiece of any effort that we use to fix this problem.
So then they should agree with this.
Now, my objective of introducing the Jan Lokpal bill is not because I agree completely with the Jan Lokpal bill. I completely disagree with the government Lokpal bill. And I think it is important for the parliament and the parliamentarians to see these two documents on record within parliament, and let there be a debate within parliament of what really this is right for the country to fix this problem.
Precisely what we've said as government.
Okay, Renuka trying to interrupt you. Renuka,
I have to finish this.
Speak in parliament. This is precisely what we've said. In a democracy, we are all entitled to have difference of opinions. We have said that yes, we spoke.
I have to finish this.
The government came out and reached out and said, let us talk. Then we said, let us do this. Then we said, you come to parliament.
Let Rajiv finish. Rajiv, we're going to come back to you.
I want to...
Sorry, Chandran, let Rajiv finish what he was saying. Rajiv, what is the point you were making? Just finish it.
No. I was just making the final point that I believe strongly that the starting point for this debate should be the Jan Lokpal bill. It should not be the government Lokpal bill. And there is an inherent conflict of interest. It is the government that is being sought to be supervised and overseen by this Lokpal.
Okay, so you're saying you've introduced it to start a debate and you want this draft to be the version where the debate starts. Chandan?
I want to question Renuka Chaudhary as to what has the party decided about Anna Hazare. Is he corrupt from head to toe? Is he a company? Does his support base include armchair fascists and closet
closet anarchists.
Closet anarchists and overground Maoists? Yes. Is this movement being funded by the United States of America, as one of their worthies recently alleged? Now, what he's saying, it appears first they need to resolve their own...
Can I just pause you for a
BJP wit or a sad attempt at it at
Actually,
best.
it's not just but Renuka, I have to say something, but whatever the rest of the debate is, all of us would be fascinated to know, really fascinated to know, what has the government and the UPA and the Congress party really been thinking for the last 5 days? Starting with arresting Anna Hazare and throwing him into Tihar jail. Maybe the entire movement would have, if you'd actually kept him under house arrest, you could have taken him to a nice guest house. You could have taken him to, I don't know, Rashtrapati Bhavan and found a guest room for him there somewhere. Arresting him and throwing him into Tihar jail. And after that, some of the comments that Chandan made. It's not that the government scored a self-goal. You probably scored a whole series of self-goals, about 8 of them.
And lost the match.
Wait,
Can I please
If you're
speak?
down 9-0 right now, it's partly because there were 8 self-goals.
May I please tell you, and will you please give me a patient hearing? Number one, it was never the intention of the government to go and arrest Anna Hazare ji. What did happen? Now, if you don't want to listen and I'm going to have sarcasm, the BJP has nothing else.
Okay,
Because they must jump into everything because they're so desperate because of the Kissa Kursi ka that they will say anything. They have lost it.
Renuka, if he can't be sarcastic, can I be sarcastic?
No, may I
if the government doesn't want it to happen,
hello, you can't talk about a political decision. You are not part of the government, so don't speak.
This is now thank God for that. I'm not part of the government. I'm so glad.
Thank God, because we can't deal with such immature debating.
I want to come back. Renuka, one thing.
Please, I should be allowed to complete. I should be allowed to complete.
Renuka has to be allowed to complete. I'm dying to know the answer.
Yes, excuse me. May I say it on national TV today? Please. It was never the intention. To arrest Anna ji. Please listen. The police and the government talked to Anna ji and requested him that yes, you have your fundamental right, you want to do this, go and do it. But, as every year, this is not something new that we've introduced this year. This was on August 16th, please note. We have always had the country on red alert, and particularly the capital of our country. We have a red alert during the Independence Week so that we have checks and balances to ensure that the citizens, the larger number of citizens and 1 billion population of India will be able to fly its tricolour on Independence Day in peace and security. We recently had the... 1 minute. We had... No, this 1 minute. The red alert is not for 1 day, Chandan Mishra ji. If you go to the airport, you'll realize.
No, till when?
Don't do this drama. Please listen. And 1 minute, and then the nation.
These are the great rating standards Renu was alluding to.
Hello, will you let me complete? This is the trouble with the Jan Lokpal. You don't allow anyone else to talk.
Which reports to the Home Minister of the country, Delhi Police report to the Lieutenant Governor and Home Minister.
Now he's Lieutenant Governor of Delhi. मैं क्या बोलूं? She is government and he is Lieutenant Governor of Delhi.
Renuka,
तो हम नहीं बोलेंगे. Will you kindly let me finish?
Yes, but I'm sorry.
No, I must finish it.
Red alert is fine.
No, 1 minute. It
Why
was
did you
red
put him in
alert. No,
Tihar jail?
excuse me. And we said to Annaji that in order to keep you safe and secure, if you can comply with certain terms and conditions.